Hey, how's it going everyone? Mick Ambrose here from All About Tech, back for another video. I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. The weather in the UK this weekend has been absolutely amazing. And luckily in the job I do, I get to spend a lot of time outside, so I've enjoyed it. And it's Bank Holiday Monday, I've got the day off, gonna have a barbecue later, and the weather's lush again already, I just can't wait. I'm gonna get this video done, and then me and the missus are going out for the day. It's gonna be nice. Today's video, this has been out for a few days now. Well, no, a couple of days, and I would have done a video on it sooner if I could, but unfortunately I've just literally not had time. But so towards the end of April, a senior moderator for the Electroneum page on Reddit posed some questions together and sent them off in an email to Richard Ells, and they've had a response to that, and they've posted it on the Reddit post. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read out each question and answer, and then go and then talk a little bit about it. I'm not gonna put it on the display capture because there's not really any point. I don't want to just do just a reading session. But I'm going to put the link down in the description. You can go and check it out. It's from a senior moderator, so it is authentic. So yeah, let's just jump straight into it. So the first part of the email, Richard just apologises that it's taken a few weeks to answer the email, mainly because of how busy they've been lately, and it's just been crazy busy leading up to the fork, and instant payments are currently being coded, so that's really good. So the first, and that's even before we even get into any of the questions, but to jump straight into it, the first question that was asked was, how are things looking for the iOS app release? People are wondering if there has been any updates on whether Apple has accepted ETN as one of its own. Are there any updates on the subject matter? And the response was that they reapplied on Wednesday the 2nd of May with the ability to send ETN removed, where instead that button will send you to the myelectroneum.com website where you can still send, and that should allow miners to start mining and view balances at the very least. And then the Android version was launched on Thursday the 3rd that has notifications in it, making it more obvious for what's happening with the mobile mining payouts as well as transfers, etc. It's also the first step in the notification system for instant payments, and they are also working on push notifications. So for those of you that don't know what push notifications is, that's just literally where it's a notification that comes up on your actual phone, like on the lock screen or whatever. You don't, the notifications we get at the moment, they're within the app. Push notifications are notifications which we get from outside of the app, so that's really nice. So you don't have to be in Electroneum and it'll still notify you of something. In terms of the Apple release, what it's looking like here is that Apple are complaining about, they're probably complaining about like a bug or some piece of code within the send ETN removed, because that is a very specific thing that they've taken out, and Apple are really notorious for this. Like if your app or program or anything has the slightest bit of miswritten code or whatever, they will reject the entire thing and make you either get rid of it or fix it 100% before they allow it onto the Apple Store. What's good about this is that they can get rid of it, just replace it with a link to myelectroneum.com, get it originally accepted onto the App Store, and then just fix it afterwards. And then that way, at least it gets onto the App Store. And with the update, when they update the app to bring in the send Electroneum back for the iOS users, they are very unlikely to pull the entire app off and complain about it again. So it's a good tactic to have, and yeah, that's basically what it is about that. It's really good that they're working on the notification system for instant payments, which means that they're getting very far down the line in terms of the actual code for instant payments, which they've said they've been crazy busy doing. So going into the next question. During this trip around the world, in one of his interviews, Richard quoted, "We've amassed these numbers, and we haven't even started marketing." With that said, when can we expect marketing to start? And can you share any plans which are down the pipeline? And then the response to that was, "There is nothing to be gained by driving the users to Electroneum until we have delivered our end-to-end ecosystem." So basically, they need their minimum viable proposition. Otherwise, they're going to get all these people coming in, and if there's anything wrong, the general public that are getting in on it will be far less forgiving than it has been now. So it's important. We're like the guinea pigs. We're the testers. There's like a certain amount of stages in terms of mass adoption. We are at the very start. We are the very early. You got the innovators, the ones that actually bring in the new tech in and the new ecosystem in. And then you've got the early adopters, and then you've got the second group of early adopters, and then you've got the flooding of just mainstream. And by then, it's like too late to really invest and make loads of money on. But yeah. So they need their minimum viable proposition of instant payments live. So it has to be live, and an API to allow anyone, vendors or mobile operators, e-commerce sites, to accept ETM. And the next sentence is really promising as well. It says, "We are very close to launching our instant payment notification system, which allows shops that currently use top-up prepaid mobile phones to start accepting ETN, giving us an end-to-end ecosystem." That the fact that they're coming out and saying that they're very close is absolutely fantastic. There's no question how hard they've been working. I mean, they've been working around, well, I wouldn't say round the clock. The developers will get home from work and they'll probably work on it even more. You've got Andre, who's based in Brazil. He will work as much as he needs to because he works from his home, and he is always updating on Twitter and stuff. And yeah, there's no question about it that they're getting a lot done, and that's what we need. It's brilliant. They're being run like a proper business. They're not just a bunch of developers plodding along, doing their own thing, taking their time. They're really going at it here, and it's a recipe for success. So, if we go into the next sentence, we don't want to market a product that can only be amassed, not spent. And that is hugely important. At the moment, you can only spend ETN at Mega X Store, and a lot of people were giving it crap, saying, "Oh, what's the point announcing that? I mean, they're tiny. It's a little website based in Singapore." Well, adoption of being able to spend Electroneum is adoption of spending Electroneum. The whole point of mass adoption is that you slowly build up. Small vendors will start taking it in, and all those small vendors together will make quite a large space within the sector, and then all the bigger companies come in. Bigger companies don't just come out and go; they want to see it working first before they come in and start making partnerships with these cryptocurrencies. Which is, and it's good that they know, and this just shows the experience they have on how to market a product. They're not just good at marketing the product, but they're good at tactics on the timings of when to market a product. And it's absolutely right. Why would they market ETM when you can only collect it, not spend it? That doesn't give it any value. So going into the next sentence, we have an API under development that allows integration on e-commerce and the mobile networks to accept ETN for data, etc. Once the MVP is out, minimum viable proposition, we will tentatively increase our exposure, and once we have an MVP API and integration with a mobile provider ready, we will start in earnest. It is important to note that we've been on board over 1.25 million users. I think it's more than 1.3 now, just by word of mouth so far. And that is extremely important. It's just everybody talking to each other. Everyone's buzzing about this project. They've not done any marketing yet. And this is what they have. 1.3 million users. That outperforms most cryptocurrencies already. And they haven't even marketed anything yet. It's just it's crazy. So we are very confident on being the cryptocurrency with the most users within 2018. They think they're going to do it this year, and fair play if they do. I wouldn't even be mad if they didn't, because Bitcoin has millions of users. So even if we get remotely close to Bitcoin, I'm happy. In the first year, they've done a lot in the 6 months that they've been operating so far. So on to the next sentence. I will go into more detail later, but we are resourcing our new marketing department. So they've got a new marketing department and they're resourcing it so that they can market it properly when the time is right. And many people will be saying, "Oh, what's the point marketing this if they don't have the product ready and stuff?" Marketing is just as important as the tech, because if you've got great tech and you can't market it for shit, you're not going to get your product anywhere, are you? So I think that's why Richard Ells is such a good person for it, because he has experience with the not masses of experience with blockchain, but he was a programmer. He has experience in programming, and he's an entrepreneur. He's had success in the past. He's got experience, and he's a really good marketer. The next question is, several members are very worried in regards to the longevity of the coin with ASICs on the rise. The current difficulty has skyrocketed from 16 billion upwards to 55-60 billion. This is making it extremely difficult for GPU miners to actually accumulate any coins. Here's what they would like to know. So anti-ASIC goes live on block 307500 May 30th. So that was just the answer of that question. They know that the fork is coming. As soon as, and I made the video, my last video, about the huge rise in price we had, and lo and behold, we've dropped massively because the ASICs have moved from selling on KuCoin to Cryptopia, and you can see that on the buy-sell orders for KuCoin and Cryptopia. KuCoin's sell wall was massive, and then it dropped drastically, and now Cryptopia's sell wall is massive. It was always going to happen, and those that were aware, I mean, I did try and tell everyone. Those that were aware could have capitalized on massively and really gained some more Electroneum free. So, going into the next question, when are we going to fork? Monero, alongside other Kryptonite currencies, have forked to version 7 already with no issues. Why isn't Electroneum following suit? And basically, I'm not going to read this whole answer out, because what they're doing is they're not, and I've said this so many times, they don't want to just copy Monero's code, because now they're coming away from what Monero is, and that's a privacy coin. And I think in the future, privacy coins are going to have a bit of trouble in regards to regulation. And they're moving away from privacy and more towards larger volumes of transactions, which they had to strip some of the... They still have some element of privacy features. They have more privacy still than Bitcoin or some other cryptocurrencies. But they're taking away some of the unnecessary ones so that they can focus on the blockchain being able to amass so many volume of transactions, and to be accepted in a regulatory environment, which is eventually going to happen. And if you want mass adoption, unfortunately, you need to go along with the rules of what the government sets out. So there's also a link to a Forbes article about altcoins being favoured by criminals, and that is why regulatory steps are going to be taken, and that's why privacy coins are really going to be under a bit of scrutiny. And as cryptocurrency becomes more widely accepted, you're gonna see more of that type of activity trying to take place. And I mean, and it's the same with real money. Criminals use real money to launder their money and stuff for illegal activities, and crypto is it will be the same thing. But when you have like a pure privacy coin that's meant to be private, it just makes you question, well, why do you need it to be completely 100% bulletproof, really? And that's not what Electroneum needs to be. There will be coins that do that. Fair enough. Use those coins if you need nothing but privacy. But for Electroneum's use case, doesn't need it. So, what is your plan with regards to having 3 ASIC miners in your office? Are you planning on changing from the original code? And this question, the answer is just see above. And people were throwing all sorts of rubbish out there, saying that, oh, they've bought 3 ASICs so they can mine the hell out of Electroneum and then exit scam them. And well, to those people, they're just the kind of people that say they have a lot to say, but nothing to back up what they say. And what I can really take out of this of all this FUD that's been going around, for ages, a lot of people were hating on Electroneum, and all those people that are hating on Electroneum were saying absolutely fuck all when Electroneum was booming the other day. They were saying absolutely nothing, and not only that, these quite a few updates that we've been given. There's been on my videos there's been next to no FUD comments at all, and it just shows that they're just talk. It's all talk, and they just want someone to bite so they can have that argument with. I mean, I've had discussions on with a few commenters on that, and they're always coming along with the same one-liner. Electroneum's a shitcoin, and I said, well, if you want a discussion about it, give your reasonings behind it, and then I can give my reasonings behind why you're talking shit. So it's exactly that. Like, a lot of accusations being thrown out with absolutely no evidence, and people just need to not listen to them. They added in another question. When are you releasing the code for the blockchain update? So it was. I don't need to. If you want to have a look at the code, you can do so on GitHub. It's been released. They've released parts. They released it part by part. Each part that they're changing. So you can look at that. Will you be monitoring the mempool more closely? We have made adjustments to mitigate flooding attacks and many more things. We always monitor the mempool, but of course we will be monitoring much closer during the lead up to the fork and just after the fork, where we will be all glued to the screen. The mempool, if those that aren't aware, it's how long your transaction can stay, like kind of like in the queue sort of thing. It was like 24 hours, but I think they've upped it to 3 days, just because when you're getting massive amounts of transactions, you need to be able to keep that that transaction on there for a little bit longer to give it a chance to get processed. Otherwise, if it doesn't and it tries to spit it back, that can take up to 7 days. So, there were speculations on ant miners being shipped out in June. That date is in fact May. Bi-cow miners have already shipped and are active. How do you feel about this? And the answer to that was, there appears to be quite a large distribution of ASICs. We have no evidence of a 51% attack. We will see a whopping drop in hash and power once we've forked, and be ready for that, because we will bounce back up in value, because the sell wall will just disappear. And most GPU miners, they don't just sell all their coins, unlike ASICs. ASICs literally mine the shit out of a coin, dump the lot, and then either the coin doesn't recover from it and dies, or they become resistant, and the ASICs just move on to the next coin. It's just how it is, unfortunately. Is there a plan to get on a large-scale exchange in the near future? The HIT BTC link on your page has said coming soon for months now. Members are wondering if there is any possibility of getting listed on a reputable exchange. And the answer to that was HIT BTC has been asked by Electroneum to wait until after the fork. We were under huge FUD attack and there was no point pushing towards with exchanges until we had solved the problems. We have plans for large exchanges. At this moment, I am not releasing details. And I think that's absolutely right. Why would you release onto exchange when there's all these accusations being thrown around and all this FUD thrown around? And not only that, exchanges they're not gonna listen till after the fork anyway. They announced 3 more exchanges, which I'll be doing a separate video on tomorrow. But yeah, let's get the product working. Let's get the code written. Let's get the updates done. Let's get the fork done, and then worry about that stuff. People have noticed a severe amount of soon comments and are getting worrisome. When Moon, when Lambo. Do you feel that, given the estimated dates rather than soon, it would help the community? The project has only been live since December. What we have achieved is incredible. It's hard to give precise dates on things when so many things are out of our control. What I can say is that I'm more confident today of us delivering out a working instant payment cryptocurrency system this year and gaining the millions of users I promised and than I have ever previously been. The level of corporate interest has been incredible, but we are needing to do things that I didn't predict. I am not going to go into details, but I assure you it's all very good. And, God, we're eventually getting to the end. This is going to be, oh crap, it's already quite long. Your patent has been approved for pending status. Can you now go into details in regards to what this patent holds? And I can cover that without even reading that. The patent covers cryptocurrency instant payments, and it also covers cryptocurrency subscription payments. And what the patent allows them to do is integrate any cryptocurrency into their ecosystem and essentially make any cryptocurrency instantaneous in terms of transactions. And that is an absolute game changer. Are you hiring US-based developers via contract or other methods? If so, how would one apply? Currently, we have one developer outside our office, which is Andre, who works from Brazil. And they're currently not seeking remote workers except on the blockchain and open source items due to the security implications of remote workers in remote jurisdictions. And that's absolutely fair enough. All of the developers for Electroneum work out of their office apart from Andre. And maybe like another like contractor one or whatever. The next question. The details released about the patent and the plans for implementation that were released on YouTube are intriguing and ambitious. If you manage to pull it off, you'll certainly be one of the biggest cryptocurrencies in the world. Such a task won't be easy. Startups like PayPal, Google, and Amazon all went from having a handful of developers to now having hundreds of developers and supporting staff. The transition from the original few that we saw in the office to the number of staff you have seen today took some time and organising, people working out their notice periods, etc. Question. How do you plan on scaling the team to ensure the right amount of talented developers and support staff are available at the right time in order to fulfill your goals in the coming years? A bigger HQ, more overseas developers? And this answer is really intriguing, actually, and I hope people are still watching by the time we hit 23 minutes. But we have one overseas branch in the planning right now, mostly due to gaining regulated cryptocurrency status. We have taken on, and I apologise if I don't say their name properly, Jurgita Rhodes, and there's a LinkedIn link. He's worked at Bloomberg, BBC as COO, and well, no, he's coming on board as COO, and Nick Cook as CCO. He has a LinkedIn page as well. We have a new starter as CTO that will be made public once they settle in. And we have a new Meet the Team page coming soon. And they've also taken on a CMO who has huge corporate experience. Each of these people is creating the correct environment to grow the team and business. This model is designed to work above all else. We are investing fully to ensure we scale fluidity to meet our imposed deadlines. And this is exactly what I mean by setting it up as a company, setting it up as a business. These guys are doing everything right, in my opinion, at the moment. It's not just a pump and dump coin where they're going to write the code and then just pray to God someone big sees it and gets it out there to the masses. They've got another blooming, what am I trying to say? Another place, another location. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. Location. I apologize about that. Skip the next like 5 seconds. They got another location in the works, and that's really exciting to hear about. They're waiting for a number of coders to start, and they are recruiting the team members that are demanded for each department. And then last 2 questions, I'm going to get there before 30 minutes, I really hope so. Monero's releasing ledger support in the near future. Does Electroneum plan to follow suit? And the simple answer to that is something that they can't control. Ledger control who they add. They would help them in any way they could to be on that device. I suspect the market FUD has kept us out of some larger exchanges and some partnerships, but that would otherwise have secured already. And that will just change when they deliver what they say they're going to deliver. Whatever happened to Electroneum mobile game? Is there going to be a release date set for it soon? The mobile mining game is off the table at the moment, but we are working with an augmented reality game maker to create something awesome that will accept ETN for in-game purchases. I'm loath to mention it, as people will want to know when. You know the answer soon. Joke. I didn't answer the question about funds and publishing figures. We have no intention of doing that, I'm afraid. I can promise the community that I have the best interests of ETN at my heart, and I am running the company to the very best of my ability to ensure the brightest possible future for ETN and our community. And I hope I've gone into a bit more detail rather than... I hope you enjoyed the fact that I've not just answered every question, I've talked about it a little bit as well. And that is going to be the ending right there. If you like this video, because my throat hurts a little bit now, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. I know Minting Coins did a video on this, but he's taken it down. I like Minting's videos, and when I got that notification that he's done a video of this already, and I was at work, I was excited to watch it, and then he went and took it down. So, where's that gone? But nah, it's all good. Yeah, like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll catch you guys out in the next video. Peace out, guys. Have a good bank holiday.